I would just like to take a moment of silence for the Steam Workshop for all of its service through all these years. Um, you will be missed but never forgotten. And hello to Paradox Mods,
Oh boy!
I have a bad feeling about this.
which there is nothing. There is nothing here. Oh my god, there's so much nothing. Nothingness.
Alrighty then.
But maybe that's not a bad thing. Let's get into it, alright? How's it hanging? My name is Shawn. It's been a week. Smack a like. Subscribe if you're new. I'm going to attempt to break all this down into something that's digestible, right? No longer will Steam Workshop be the focal point of mods for City Skylines franchise. City Skylines 2 will now be moving to Paradox mods for cross-platform compatibility and numerous other reasons. I think mainly for business. You know, Steam has a large market share of the community's input. Paradox doesn't have hardly anybody on their site. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure some of these other games have plenty of mods and stuff like that. It doesn't look like a, you know what I mean? So, City Skylines, it's not looking too good, you know what I mean? And that's one of their flagship games. They have to change that naturally. So, we're going to go through all this Paradox Forum questions in just a second. But first, I want to get over to Discord because there is a lot of stuff in Discord that they talk about that's not necessarily fully filtered on the Paradox Forum. So, let's get into it. You can skip past me reading it. If you want to just pause and read it yourself and get on to what else we're saying, that's cool. I understand. But I will read all through this because some, you know, TLDR, some people are just lazy, and I got you back, right? So, mods for everyone. More mods for everyone. We know you have been waiting, and it's now time to share the latest developments regarding modding in City Skylines 2. First and foremost, our in-game editor is currently in its beta phase and will launch shortly after release. While we look forward to unleashing the power of creative modification to all of you in preparation, we are collaborating with a talented small group of creators working behind the scenes, ensuring you will have amazing mods to dive into on the launch of mods platforms. While the modding tool will have a basic framework as its inception, we are dedicated to its continuous expansion and enhancement, making it a central focus of our development efforts moving forward. More in-depth details about the editor and its roadmap ahead will be shared shortly. Keep an eye out for our dev diaries. Now, with this little part right here, there is going to be two camps. The camps of, we shouldn't have to have mods, the game should be perfect. And the other camp is, great. Mods have been the lifeblood of City Skylines 2, and it's only natural that they should lean more on this. You can call the devs lazy, or you can call them community-oriented. I don't care which camp you're in. I view it as a win. I want as many mods as possible. If the game isn't going to give me what I want mods for that. You know what I mean? It's whatever. Secondly, we're introducing Paradox Mods as the new mods platform for City Skylines 2. On the core reasons for its inclusivity, modding capabilities will be extended to players across platforms, both PC and console, aligning with our commitment to provide as many as possible with the opportunity to modify and enjoy the game. For console users, this means you will be able to access asset mods in our library. Yes, you read that right. We know it's a huge part of City Skylines experience, and we're beyond excited to introduce a solution that makes mods available for everyone. As with all major updates, we are fully aware of the learning curve it might present, but we're committed to providing resources to ensure a smooth transition to Paradox mods. And it will be a transition. One of the things that they will do to make this easier is we've seen this little image floating around of this free cash you'll get by signing up for the Paradox mods. So don't make an account. Don't make a Paradox account until you get the game. That way you can get that. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure if they'll redeem it after the fact for people who are already members. I would assume so, but just in case, I would hold off and just sign up for that. Sign up then. Plus, mods ain't going to be exactly at launch anyway. It's going to be a little bit after that. So keep all that in mind. Now, okay. A note on performing and our commitment to players. So a note on performance and our commitment to players. Another note we've noticed, the concerns raised about City Skylines 2 performance. Especially after our previous statement with raised minimum and recommended specs. We've always believed in transparency, so we'd like to now finally say something. Come on, guys. We'd like to further shed light on the current state of the build. City Skylines 2 is a next-gen title, and naturally it demands certain hardware requirements. With that said, while our team has worked tirelessly to deliver the best experience possible, we have not achieved the benchmark we targeted. At least they're being honest. You know, you got to give that to them. I mean, they could have just lied and said it's perfect, and y'all would have been pissed when the game came out. You know what I mean? Instead of being pissed beforehand with managed expectations, which is the better outcome, you know, of the two evils, right? So in light of this, we still think that the long term of the project releasing now is the best way forward. We are proud and unique of the unique gameplay and features of City Skylines 2, and we genuinely believe that it offers a great experience that you will enjoy. We will continually improve the game over the coming months, but we will also want to manage expectations on a performance for the coming release. Our ambition is for City Skylines 2 to be enjoyed by many players as possible. We are committed to ensuring it reaches its full potential. So that means they'll be working on the specs. They're trying to get the specs to be more broadly approachable by most people, because again, you know, a lot of City Skylines players are PC oriented. There's going to be a whole vast community of console players now, and they've already had to do refunds and stuff like that. So I do honestly believe that they're going to be trying their hardest, putting all of their effort into making this game playable, functionable, giving it the life that it needs to be a successful and optimized experience. That's what I truly believe. As far as them being transparent, we could have used this a month ago. You know what I mean? Like, bruh, we could have used that a month ago. So now you see how Steam Workshop looks here, and then you see how the where is it at over here? City Skylines mods looks. They look very similar, right? So they're trying to emulate that. The only thing is there's nothing here. Like if I click on a building, there's nothing. There's no information. It's nothing. You know what I mean? If I go over to City Skylines and I just click, let's look at this building right here. This featured building. Yeah, of course it's a featured building, so it's going to have a bunch of stuff, but not really too common. But look all the information we get. We get this many unique visitors, current subscribers, you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff that you get to, a lot of information for you to be able to make a decision on if you want that asset or that mod, right? So now let's get into the frequently asked questions. Okay, so this is a rough first question. Imagine being a Paradox employee and you have to write this question out and then answer it for everybody. Why are you releasing the game if you have performance issues? The fact that you even have to write that is embarrassing. But push come to shove, I'd rather them be honest than lie, and then the game just fall apart and the whole franchise gets ruined, right? And everybody goes back to Cities 1, and which most people will, a lot of people will anyway. So it's like it's a double-edged sword, but it has to be answered. So we've taken the long-term vision of the project into account, and we feel that the release now is in the right step. City Skylines 2 presents features. Well, it's in the right step because what's happening is the mods are going to fix it. The modders are going to fix them. And they're going to be working on performance and stuff like that. At least that's how it's reading, right? So, City Skylines 2 presents features a gameplay. City Skylines 2 presents features a gameplay. Does it present or does it feature? A gameplay that we're very proud of. And despite that the game is performance heavy, we believe it will be an experience you'll truly appreciate. Well, everyone experiences performance issues. It all depends on your PC. Some will experience issues, some will not. It also depends on how high your graphics setting are compared to your hardware, obviously. Is there anything I can do if I experience performance issues at launch? Yes, we have determined a few graphic settings that have minimum impact on the player experience, but increase performance significantly. We will provide more details shortly. Should you face any performance issues at launch, these configurations will be our top recommendations. So there's going to be even more stuff coming out. You know, they're going to have timelines for us. They're going to be giving us recommendations, which are all good stuff. That's the transparency we need. But they should have rolled that kind of stuff out whenever they said here's the specs changes and just left it at that. You know what I mean? Like, you talk about transparency, but you don't really deliver on that as much until it's like you're doing damage control type of thing. You know what I mean? So you can't be transparent after the fact and claim you're being transparent. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work that way. Yeah, but I'm still glad that we're getting the information that we needed a month ago. I'm still glad about that, right? So let's continue. What mod platform will be used for City Skylines 2? We are using Paradox mods for City Skylines 2. This is to ensure cross-platform modding capability and to provide an integrated in-game experience for our players. Will older mod platforms be supported? No. It can't be any clearer than no. We won't support older platforms such as Steam Workshop. We have decided to have Paradox mods as our platform as it allows us to have cross-platform modding capability. We also wanted mods to be more easily accessible in-game, which we are able to do with Paradox mods. Now, here's the thing. You could have just kept Steam 2 and then also had Paradox mods, and then consoles can use Paradox mods, and PC users can use whatever they want. That would have been the best way to do it. Now, I'm not sure what the cost is on how to, what it takes for developers to put stuff on Steam or allow that to be. I'm not sure if they have to pay. I have no clue about that. It might just be more cost effective for them to do Paradox. And on top of that, if you look at it from a business standpoint, it makes sense. Steam has the largest market share for their game for community, right? They need to transfer that community to their mods. Like they have a whole infrastructure for this, and nobody uses it. So it makes sense. City Skylines 2 is one of their flagship games. Naturally, they want the community to be within Paradox and Colossal Order's sphere and kind of control that narrative themselves. Now, does that set up another like class system or barrier of entry? Yes, it does. It's like the largest community for creation for City Skylines is on Steam. Hands down, that's just the way it goes. And it's familiar. Everybody's familiar with Steam. So it's going to be a transition. And, it's just going to be tough. It's going to be a tough transition. But hopefully they will be able to help us, guide us with transition. Hopefully they will provide more unique options for City Skylines 2 mods, infrastructure than Steam will have for City Skylines. Let's hope that's the case. Now, if it's going to be bare bones and horrible compared to Steam, I don't know. I do think that it will be easier for them to mitigate and gatekeep what assets and mods will work longer over time and what will be adjust and how maybe it could scale going forward, because we've had a lot of problems with certain assets or mods breaking the game from Steam because there's a lot of, it's just going through Steam, so I'm not sure what sort of barriers of entry it requires. I mean, I'm not a modder, so it is what it is. What do you mean by modding is in beta? It means that we have a small group of modders testing the tool out in a closed beta before it's released publicly, which will happen soon. Will CS1 assets be usable in CS2? No, mods from City Skylines 1 are not compatible with City Skylines 2, naturally. It is built on an entirely new code base, and its fidelity is vastly different, naturally. As such, it requires its own unique mods, naturally. With that said, some of the best mods creators from City Skylines have early access to the sequel. Who knows? Perhaps they are already working on the new version of your favorite mod for City Skylines 2. Let's hope so. Will mods be supported on console? Yes, asset mods will be available for console users. Due to restrictions, code mods are not possible for console. What does this mean? Okay, so asset mods. For those of you console players who don't really watch bunch of YouTube and just play it casually, an asset mod is a stop sign, a bench, a static car, or a paint job, or graffiti, or a sign, or a plant, or a fence. Those are speed bump. Those are asset mods you can just place aesthetically on the surface of the game. Code mods are the 81 tiles mod, the bobs, the move its, the find its, the precision engineering, all those beautiful, mods that we have that manipulate the code within the game. Those will not be available on console. That's understandable. There's probably some limitations to consoles and how that works. I always recommend people to get a PC to play City Skylines, but I'm glad that they're reaching out as far as they possibly can to console players and allowing asset mods. And I'm imagining Paradox mods is an easier way for them to be able to do that. They're easier for them to maintain, manipulate everything they need to make sure that it's a smooth experience for console players, or they lose that freedom if they let other outside entities like Steam pretty much, have the platform with their own requirements. Whereas City Skylines, Paradox, they can kind of really monitor that and make sure that it's the best experience for everybody. So it's good and bad news all throughout here. When will modding be available for everyone? Modding is currently in its beta phase and will be available to PC players soon after release. Console users will get access to modding too, and we will share a timeline later on. So we're getting a timeline, we're getting recommendations for specs, and you know, can I be part of the modding beta? No, there is no application. It has to be a select group of people. You have, like, you know, probably Bloody Pink. You know, there probably the main modders are probably getting paid to fix their game. I hate to say it that way, man, but you know, it's probably not. It's a little bit of both. You know what I mean? It's probably a little bit of, hey, please release mods first that help this thing that we didn't do, that people really want, and then also, could you also pretty please just do whatever you want to do, but make sure you run it by us, that type of thing, you know, which is great. I'm just glad they're finally choosing to be transparent. I'm glad that they finally, you know, are allowing us to know this 10 days before launch. Transparency. But you know, all jokes aside, I'm looking forward to this game. You know, I love this game. You know, I think it's going to be great. It's going to take a little while for it to be what it needs to be. I'm glad they're working on the specs. I'm glad that that mods are coming in to fix some of these issues. I'm glad that they're going to stay focused on working on all these issues. I just wish they would have told us this whenever they gave us all the bad news originally. You know what I mean? Speaking of bad news, also, I was banned from City Skylines to Discord server for apparently doxing. I shared a public email address in my own server, which they said it was not their server. I didn't display it in City Skylines Discord at all. I did it and it's a public email, which is not doxing at all. You can't, you know what I mean? Here's Domino's email. Well, you dox Domino's. You can't. But you know what? I still love them. You know what I mean? It's probably just a bot error, and if it's not, you know, fuck you to the person who doesn't love me, but I love you guys. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. I don't really care. It shows more about them than it does me. And so, until next time, I love you guys. I will keep you guys up on the news. I had some videos planned, but because of burnout, they fell through. So I apologize about that, but I'm trying. I'm getting out there. I'm trying. Just got a lot of work, you know, family issues, stuff like that. But I love you guys. I will see you guys in the next one. And until next time, piss off. 2 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass than a toilet seat. 3 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I met a bad bitch last night in the D. Let me tell you how I made her leave with me. Conversation and Hennessy. I've been to the motherfucking mountaintop.